Hello, and welcome to another Wellness Wednesday with Fix. We're very excited to get started today on tonight's topic of food sensitivity tests, how to use them, and why they are important. But first, I want to cover a few housekeeping items. We are recording this, so we can't answer questions live, but you can submit any questions that you have to info@fixmedicalgroup.com, and we will respond in 24 hours. If not, answer on the next Wellness Wednesday. We're also posting this on YouTube channel, our Instagram, so feel free to join or rewatch or send to your friends. We're going to be having these classes every Wednesday at 6 p.m., so continue to join in. Last week, we spoke about how to stimulate your own fountain of youth, aka boosting your own stem cells for your health. Hopefully, you were able to kind of put some of those to use already to start improving that health. So let's get started on food sensitivity tests. Okay. Pretty much, what is it? A food sensitivity test is a type of exam or a test used to identify potential food intolerances or sensitivities. These are not food allergies. Food allergies involve the immune system and can be like a life-threatening reaction. Like we've heard, or maybe we've had friends or family that have a peanut allergy. And if they come into contact with peanuts, they swell up, they can't breathe, that's possibly life-threatening. That is not a food sensitivity, that is a food allergy. Food sensitivities are a little bit more subtle. They do not typically trigger an immediate reaction. However, they can cause a lot of symptoms and decrease your overall health. Some of these symptoms can be GI, gastrointestinal issues, bloating, gassy, diarrhea, constipation, cramps, stomach issues. But it can also affect systemic. It can give you kind of eczema, can break out in hives, dry skin, but they can also cause joint pain. Think about an inflammatory response. So if you already have some injuries, certain foods that you may be sensitive to could be causing more issues, more pain, headaches. Another big one that people don't realize is fatigue. If your body is having a reaction to like a food intolerance or sensitivity, it's going to be fighting that off. So guess what? It doesn't have as much energy for the rest of life. So you might feel fatigued, run down, lethargic, lack of motivation. There's a ton of symptoms that could occur from it, which is why it's important to understand your own food intolerances or food sensitivities. Here's just one story. We had a patient, his name was Joseph. He was an attorney, always on the go, but he was dealing with a ton of GI stomach issues. He had so many appointments. He brought in his list of different tests and different doctor's notes, endoscopies, enemas, colonoscopies, CT scans. And guess what? They found nothing. Nothing was wrong, but he was still living daily in these pains, this bloating. He just didn't feel good. Well, we decided that we need to isolate what's going on with his diet. So we did a food sensitivity test. What we found were there was these big things that popped up on his test that showed that he had a sensitivity. Well, Joseph, being an attorney, he was a little type A person. He ate the exact same thing every morning. He had coffee with a little cream and milk, eggs, yogurt with blueberries, and whey protein. Every single one of those foods, even coffee, the milk, the dairy, eggs, the blueberries even, he was sensitive to. And that's how he started off his day, 7 days a week. He took that out. Every single symptom went away. He even lost like 15 pounds because he wasn't full of inflammation. He wasn't bloated. He wasn't lethargic. He lost it very quickly, all because of one test. One test changed the course of his life. He didn't have to go on all those doctor's appointments, go through any of those uncomfortable exams, colonoscopies, or anything like that, just from this one simple food sensitivity test. So this is how we can use the power of it to alter our overall lifestyle. Okay. There are multiple types of food sensitivity tests available, but some of the more common ones we're going to cover right now. One is the elimination diet. This basically is eliminating certain foods. So we're removing suspected sugar foods from our diet for a certain amount of time, and you see how your body responds. And then you individually add in that food. So maybe we took out 10 foods in total. We didn't eat it for a full month. Now we're going to start on that day 31, and we're going to add in one of those foods. We'll say it's tomatoes. We reintroduce that. Then we observe and see if there's any reactions or any symptoms for a few days. If nothing, no symptoms, you add in the next food and you continue down that process just to see how your body responds to reintroducing that food. This is kind of looked at as the gold standard because you're basing it off of how you feel, not just what this piece of paper tells you you should feel, which is what we're going to talk about next. The problem with elimination diets, it's just time consuming. You have to be very strict and you have to do it and you have to follow it to a T to get accurate results. A lot of us live these very busy lives where sometimes that's difficult, or more so, we just don't know how to do it properly. Okay? That's where these blood test food sensitivities make it so easy. It's a simple blood test. You can even do a finger prick, or we draw just like a regular blood withdrawal. And what that test does is it measures antibodies, such as IgG or IgE. These are associated with certain foods. So this lab test, you send it off to the lab, you get it back, and it shows all these different things. Maybe it's tomatoes marked really high, but eggs are really low. So you can use this to kind of pick and choose what foods you should avoid or even test them yourself. Our specific test actually tests 96 different foods, everything from veggies, fruits, grains, meats, fish, dairy, pretty much the whole shebang of a diet. So you can get a very all-encompassing look at your overall diet and how it's affecting your daily activities or how you just feel. These are great tools, but you also need to test out the results to ensure their accuracy. So a lot of times when we do a food sensitivity test, it might point out that these three foods are inflammatory to your system. So what do we do with those three foods? We treat it like a small elimination diet to confirm the lab test results. So we have three foods. We're going to eliminate them for a few weeks, maybe even a month, and then we're going to pick one, add it back in, see how your body responds. Because some people don't have reactions to a food, even though it's you may show up with a sensitivity to it from these tests. Okay? So you want to pay attention to this, and that's how you use it in your daily life. Food sensitivities can potentially help people in a ton of ways, but we're going to kind of pick and choose the benefits. One that we kind of already discussed is identifying those trigger foods. For people that are experiencing chronic or even recurring health issues without an obvious cause, you just, why do I feel like this? Food sensitivities can provide those, insights into these potential trigger foods. These might be causing or exacerbating your symptoms that you already have. And by identifying and eliminating these problematic foods from your diet, you can experience a great relief from these symptoms, and some of your health issues can improve as well. Other bonuses of doing a food sensitivity test is that you are identifying a tailored, customized diet for yourself. We are all unique humans, but everyone is a little bit different. And some of the foods that your brother, your wife may eat, it might not be good for you. So when we know what foods may be a trigger for us, we can adopt a more tailored dietary approach to avoid these specific foods. And this can lead to an overall improvement in health, reduced symptoms, and just an enhanced lifestyle. You just feel good. Okay? Another great thing, bonus for identifying these food triggers or by doing a food sensitive test is it just supports your overall behavior change. When we're trying to make improvements in our health, a lot of it is just on habits in your brain and being aware of certain things. And so when we know of certain foods that we want to avoid, it can motivate us a lot to make those healthier decisions because we're already thinking, I don't want to feel like that. So maybe I should try a salad instead of going for those Cheetos. It just helps you embrace a more balanced diet overall. And then you can explore other alternative nutritious options. Basically, you're more aware of your body's needs and you got the ball rolling in a positive manner. And you want to keep that motivation going in your overall dietary and lifestyle decisions. Okay. The fourth reason or fourth bonus benefit of food sensitivity tests are they help prevent unnecessary restriction. When you are confused, you just don't know what to do. Like, why do I feel like this? Why do I have this bloating? Why am I gassy all the time? And you just don't know. It's scary. It's also just, you're not motivated because you just don't understand why you're feeling like this. By identifying these specific foods, substances that can be affecting your health, you don't have to worry about just restricting a whole bunch of other things because you know specifically what you can do, what you can avoid, and now what you can eat and drink to feel the best that you can. So let's break down how we utilize this here at Fix and how you can use these tests as well. So this is what a test looks like. Okay, it's front and back. Sorry, it's kind of hard to see on here, But what I've done is I've highlighted a few of these things. So in the red, we have cheddar cheese and cow's milk. This person specifically has a very high sensitivity to it. If they eat or drink these dairy products, their body is going through an inflammatory process or reaction. They may have symptoms from everything from a headache to hives to those gut issues or just feeling tired. We don't know just from this, but we know that their body has a response. So this is where we test it and see what those symptoms are, or you just completely remove it. And if you're feeling good, just go with it. You will know that you are feeling better about, I guess, and you're healthier in that. So those ones are testing pretty high, but in these yellow highlighted, you see they're a little more moderate. So right here we have whey protein. So even though they have a high sensitivity to dairy products, whey protein, which is a kind of a cousin of dairy, isn't as high. So how we would coach someone with this is that, okay, we're going to try to stay away from cheese, from straight cow's milk as best as we can. But if you are going to do it, limit it to once or twice a week because you have a very high sensitivity. But on the whey, it has a more of a moderate. So you could possibly get away with having it 3, maybe 4 times a week, but you don't have to completely eliminate it. Maybe you do completely eliminate it if you have some severe symptoms, but overall, if you feel pretty good and you can get away with having it only 3 times a week and it doesn't affect how your overall mood, how you feel, then keep doing it. But that just breaks down, and this goes into grains. We have these vegetables, we have fish, crustaceans, we have meats, we have all of these fruits, and we have these herbs and spices and other miscellaneous foods. This is one of our food sensitivity tests that we use through a pinprick or a blood withdrawal. Okay? That's very powerful, and that's what that patient Joseph did that I told you about early. He did this one simple test, and we highlighted, oh, that's bad. You can still have this. Take that out of your diet. And when he removed these foods, he noticed a drastic change in his life. Okay. It's important to utilize this as a tool. It is not oh no, if it pops up, I can never have that food again. Life will end. There's certain foods that I have that I tested high, but I love blueberries. Blueberries happen to test very high for me. That doesn't mean I'm going to stay away from them every day of the rest of my life. I use them as a treat because I do love blueberries, but I'm not going to go out of my way and try to have them every day. And that's how we coach our clients so they can still enjoy their life and they don't feel so restricted that they can never touch it. But you use it and you see how your body reacts. So not only do you feel better, but you're not continuously inflaming your body and causing other health problems. Okay? So if you are struggling with certain symptoms that you can't just figure out, why am I dealing with this? Let us help you guide you through an elimination diet, as well as possibly use a food sensitivity test. Feel free to reach out to us. You can email us at info@fixedmedicalgroup.com anytime. We are here to help. Also, if you just have questions and maybe you want to do an elimination diet on your own, but you just have a few questions or maybe you need a few tips, this can drastically change your life, help you alleviate your symptoms right away, as well as help you long-term for the rest of your life. Thank you for joining us tonight. Next week, we're going to be talking about addiction to junk food and the science and the money that goes into making us even more addicted. Thank you very much, guys. Have a great night.